Welcome to the playoff picture. It's going to be a smooth, short little segment. The playoffs are in, the Utah Jazz are out. So, what better way to celebrate it than to talk hoops? Now, beside me, I got my boy Darion, one of the more skilled hoopers that I know, is somebody with some, an immense bag of basketball knowledge to pull from. And what's better than one intelligent basketball knowledgeable player? Two of them. Can't go wrong with that. How you doing today, man?
Hey, man, I'm doing awesome today. I'm doing awesome, man.
So we are now, by the time this goes up, 2 games in for every team in the playoff picture now. With that said, who has been your biggest surprise and your biggest, just they fell under the radar?
So, honestly, my biggest surprise is going to have to be the Pelicans. And personally, I say the Pelicans just because of how hard they've came out and played, especially going down without having Zion there. So just them bringing this effort and intensity, knowing that, hey, we might be we just here for the ride. I'm happy for them. I'm truly surprised by them. And where was the next one?
Who do you think really just was bad? Like came out late in the egg almost.
Phoenix.
Yep.
D-Book is washed. I'm going to say it now. He washed. He might be a Knick next year. He might be a Knick.
Man, look. I'm not going to lie. At the beginning of the season, when I was covering a lot more teams, one of my big things was I was not a believer in the Suns. Are they a super team on paper? Yes, for sure. But it wasn't going to work out because of the type of players that were involved in the super team. All of them, high injury risk. Bradley Beal was the worst injury risk of them all because the man only played like probably half the season, if that, like between 35 and 47 games, I want to say, somewhere in that window. I mean, when they're all healthy and they're all like playing cohesively, yeah, it's great. Of course it is. But you have to be healthy and you have to play cohesively. And none of the three of them are known as having, defense as their calling card, which made things significantly worse because it puts them in the position where they're just out there doing stuff sometimes. And isolation ball can only be successful but so much. And they ran into their Achilles heel, the Timberwolves, who are the, number 1 ranked defense in the league.
That's a fact. And I just want to say this, Bradley Beal is probably one of the biggest losers in my opinion, just because back when he was in Washington, he would score 50 points a game, and they would just somehow still figure a way to lose. So, hey, man, when you bring a collective of those guys in, especially, again, like you said, just being injury all the time, they didn't really have enough time to just mesh as a team. And then, honestly, who's your point of attack defender? Who's out there going to actually go out there and get stops? And who's out there just really trying to create and make plays for other guys? You got guys that are just going out there and just trying to get buckets for themselves.
Yep.
Not saying they can't make plays for one another, but again, that's not the best position that they
find themselves in.
Yes, sir.
Now, that said, obviously jumping to the Pelicans, they should be getting finished off right now this second, actually. We'll pop over here. Get us a little check. New Orleans. 124-92. So they got, the absolute breaks beat off of them. Who had a good game? Nobody. No, I'm playing. Brandon Ingram, 5 of 10. Brandon Ingram needs to get more shots up. Valanciunas getting up 14 shots to Brandon Ingram's 10 is nasty work. Considering that Valanciunas also played only 22 minutes to Brandon Ingram's 32. Okay, see, we already know who got off over here. That boy J-Dub and that boy Shea. 68% from the field, 60% from 3, 100% from the free throw line, 33 points for Shea. And then you had J-Dub going 10 of 17, hit one of his 3 threes, 5 rebounds, 7 assists, led the team with assists, 21 points. I mean, that, and then you can't forget about Chet, 9 of 13, 3 of 6 from 3, 5 of 6 from the free throw line, 7 boards, 2 blocks. 26 points, highest box score plus minus for anybody on the court at plus 32. It's bad. It's bad. Zionless, a Zionless team is a very not well built team.
Yeah, and it's honestly just because again they're just kind of lacking creators at this point, just lacking that star power. Man, when Zion was playing, he was a force of nature. He was finally getting back to what we thought he was gonna be, and that was a top 10 player in this league.
Yeah.
But hey, man, you got to do what you got to do. And personally, my real question is, where's Josh Giddey gonna go? Because he's slowly but surely getting lapped over by J-Dub, and he's right now currently they beating up on the Pelicans. But I feel like when they get to the next round, I feel like that he's really gonna start getting played off the floor a little more, and then you're gonna have to start trying to find answers of how you can combat other teams.
Yeah.
So, hey, Pelicans, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry, Bi.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't feel bad for him though.
You don't,
because he's part of the problem.
Look,
if imagine that'd be like if LeBron, obviously the Lakers being in the playoffs, that'd be like if LeBron or AD went out with injury, either one really, and then the next game you saw one of them shoot 9 field goal attempts.
That's true.
In 32 minutes. You're like, bro,
come on.
Who else gonna carry everybody? Yeah. Who else gonna get a bucket? Who else is gonna lead this team to be competitive? Not even to win, to be competitive. Because at this point, y'all got clapped by 30. They hung 30 on your head and said, close your eyes. Hush. And they just took it.
He said, go to sleep.
They just took it.
Hey, man, he was like, hey. He said he ready to go back to New Orleans, man.
Bro.
He ready to go back to New Orleans.
He ready to get a plate.
He trying to get a plate. You know what I'm saying? He trying to eat, Hey, he already knew this shit was washed, honestly. So, hey.
And the efficiency isn't even terrible. 5 of 10 from the field. He didn't attempt a single 3, though. He was 8 of 8 from the free throw line, had 4 boards, 3 assists, 1 steal, 1 block. He did have 3 turnovers, but not terrible, not terrible. That 18 points.
And I honestly think that's just the Lou Dort effect, because Lou Dort has been matched up with him most of the game. And when I was watching the game, there's been a lot of times where BI usually just rises over defenders and he just shoots over them. But for some reason, when he gets bumped by Lou Dort, he's not going up with it. He feels that contact, that physicality, and he's usually pump faking and kicking it back out. So I think that has a lot to do with it. And again, BI is also coming off an injury as well. So I think he's still trying to find his footing just a little bit as well. But man, I think the OKC defense, it's legit. It's legit. They've been top 5 in the league on both ends of the floor, and it's showing in the playoffs. Guys be talking about they're too young, they're immature. Nah, these guys are ballers. They're hoopers, man. They're coming to win it all.
Realistically, the only issue with the OKC Thunder has got to be from a rebounding standpoint, because Chet just isn't strong enough. He does have a fairly high IQ. I'm surprised to be able to say, but from a rebounding standpoint, his IQ can't overshadow the fact that he's not strong enough physically, because he can't even box out properly because his frame is just that slender. So against bigs, like you face, who else is in the West? Obviously, Valanciunas is a very bad matchup for him on the glass.
Got like Sabonis.
But Sabonis would do him dirty. Jokic would do him dirty. AD would do him dirty. What's his name? Clippers. Zubac. He's not even like that. Yep, Zubac.
You don't think Zubac's like that?
He's okay. This is the thing. He's respectable. He's not trash. He's definitely not trash. Okay. He could give you a double if you play him 34 minutes a night. Okay. But he also has no shooting touch.
No.
Everything he does is right there at the rim within 4 feet. So he has a very limited scope of effectiveness. And because of that, he's always going to be solid, but he's never going to be like, oh wow, like we needed this in our lives. Like he's not that guy just yet.
Not that guy.
And yeah, he probably won't be.
Yeah. It is
but
what it is.
He's enough to give Chet a serious problem.
Okay. Yeah, that's the thing. And I mean, the thing I like about Chet though, man's a dog. Honestly, he knows his limitations. Of course, he knows. Yeah, I'm a little wiry, I'm a little skinny, but he gonna meet you at the rim. He's gonna. There's a difference in being physical and then being strong. He's a physical player though. Like he's not afraid to bump you, get bumped, or get down, catch an elbow. Like he's real gritty, and I think honestly he just has a amazing future in this league. Hey, look, man, it's all right, man. He gets you some cornbread, little chicken. Go eat you some soul food, man. Go hang out with them brothers,
he needs something.
Man.
He needs something,
man. Get a little thick in them hips, man. Get it straight, all right. But he'll be fine though.
Yeah, it's coming. Hey, he's on the way. He's on the way.
He's definitely on the way.
Now, Heat Celtics. How do we feel about the matchup for one? And then number 2, how do we feel about the situation? Because obviously, everybody was saying Boston was going to get that sweep. I wasn't buying it. I wasn't buying it. Did I think that he could win without Jimmy? No, that wasn't happening. But did I think they might get a gentleman's sweep? Maybe push it to 6 games. I definitely think that's a feasible thing, and they showed it tonight. Finally getting one. So how are we feeling about it?
So, I was on that team that they were getting swept. I really felt like Boston was going to sweep them boys, and if they did get one game, it would be in Miami.
Really? Okay.
It would be in Miami, but now, okay, again, it's only 2 games, and again, Miami shot the ball amazingly tonight. Shot the ball they just couldn't miss. Tyler Hero. I'm very impressed with Tyler Hero just because the fact of whenever he meets playoff defenses and that physicality gets to him, he usually kind of stutters away from it, or you can see it bothers him, or his game is just usually a little bit off compared to whenever he's playing in regular season games. But man,
he found a way today.
He found a way.
I'm not gonna lie.
To trick us all.
These numbers are actually insane. Yeah. You got Hame going 3 of 6 from 3. Jovic went 3 of 4. Bam missed the one that he did take. Caleb Martin was 5 of 6. Tyler was 6 of 11. You had Haywood. What is that? 3 of 5. The only person that shot bad was Duncan Robinson, surprisingly enough, 2 of 7. And then Dion Wright, but or Dylan Wright. That 1 of 3 isn't bad though.
And Boston, you guys just keep showing your flaws. If you guys can't hit threes, y'all you're kind of cooked. You're just sitting there, and it's just like you guys have athletes. You guys have guys who can get to the rim and create pressure, but yet you still find your way to just continue to bomb away from 3 when it's not working. And I feel like that's a big thing on Coach Joe. Like, he needs to really lock in with the guys and be like, hey guys, we're not hitting jump shots. Let's go find a different way to score the ball. Porzingis, man, hey, you getting that Bam treatment now. You getting that. You gonna have to wake him up, boy. He gonna have to wake up because he on you now. Yeah. So you gonna have to do something else. But man, like Eric Spoelstra, amazing coach.
Oh yeah,
amazing coach.
Showing it again, front and center.
Showing it again. So we'll see what happens when they go to Miami. Boston, you better swing first. And you better try to lay them out, because if not, it'd be real bad if y'all go down 1-2. If you go down 2-1, if you go back down to them, there's gonna be a lot of talks. There's gonna be a lot of talks.
A lot of conversations will be had.
Yes, sir.
And honestly, for a team that's so adequate on the defensive side of the ball, allowing the opposing team to shoot 37 of 75 doesn't sound too crazy. Is it a high shot percentage of makes? 49.3? Absolutely. But it's only 75 shot attempts until you look at the threes. 23 of 43. 53.5% from 3. That's disgusting. You can't win a game like that.
Nah, not at all.
Over half of the shot attempts taken by your opponent were 3-pointers, and you let over half of those go in. So you waxed yourself off the gate. You waxed yourself out the gate. That's just not going to happen.
You know what's funny? Kendrick Perkins said, if Miami hit 100%,
exactly, they still lose.
They still lose.
And I knew as soon as he said that, I was like, that's a boneheaded take. I'm not gonna lie.
That's just all that came into my mind.
Boneheaded.
Yeah. So okay, Kendrick. Yeah.
Silliest goose, man. I wonder how many people's parlays he messed up just by saying that.
Oh, a lot.
And people boneheadedly believe in him.
You called him a goose. He's more like a turkey. You gotta fit him in.
You got a little extra weight. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
A whole lot of extra mass, just like when he was in the league. Now let's see. Jaylen Brown, solid game. Jason Tatum, solid game. Jaylen Brown actually had probably the best game out of anybody for the Celtics, at least. 13 of 23 from the field, 4 of 9 from 3. He was 3 of 6 from the free throw line, which is kind of confusing. But 8 boards. He was calm. That box score plus minus of a negative 22 is diabolical, though. That's nasty. Jason Tatum played 41 minutes. Jaylen Brown played 37. Jason Tatum's box score plus minus was a +6. That's crazy. And honestly, considering the fact that he shot 10 of 20 from the field, 2 of 6 from 3, 6 of 8 from the free throw line, he had the 8 boards, he had the 3 assists, he had a block, had 3 turnovers, but overall that 28 points was more effective than Jaylen Brown's 33. And that's nasty to say, because it's like all the pieces in the machine have to be working well oiled, because if they're not, they're fried. And a lot of people didn't see it that way because it's like they're just so multifaceted. And honestly, they were viewed as a super team by quite a few people coming into the season because they had all the pieces. They bought in extra. You now have the luxury of bringing Al Horford off the bench. You don't have to play him 32, 38 minutes a night. Right. You could play him 20. You could play him 18. You could play him 24. Whatever you need for Porzingis. And Porzingis today was booty. One of 9 from the field, 0 of 4 from 3. 8 boards. He did have 4 assists, 3 steals, and 2 blocks, though. But, that 6 points that's not enough. And that's why he had the worst box score plus minus at a negative 32, which is negative 32 is insane. That's ridiculous.
Hey, and honestly, another thing about Boston, as good as their starting 5 is, their bench is, you can kind of still see that they lack a shot creator off the bench.
Yeah, absolutely.
Peyton Pritchard,
not enough.
Not enough. He's cool. I think he's cool. I think he's solid.
He played 20 minutes and didn't even get a shot off today.
Yeah, I had a friend. His parlay was cooked. I don't know why. He was cooked.
Relying on Peyton Pritchard to save you was crazy.
He was cooked. I was like, bro, you should have just pulled a Shante Porter. You should have ring, bro. I need you to give me some shots today. But yeah, like he's a cool point guard. I don't think he's bad, but I just don't think he's
just not that guy.
He's just not that guy.
Okay. That's okay.
20 minutes.
Okay. And that's okay.
Okay.
He's still a solid NBA player.
Solid.
He's just not.
Yeah.
He's just not that next move. That's all.
Yeah.
Now, an interesting series that flies kind of under the radar because they are like younger guys. They don't have a lot of playoff experience. They're just kind of there out there vibing, and then everybody expects them to go into the next round and get absolutely hornswoggled by whoever they play. You have the Magic and the Cleveland Cavaliers. What are your thoughts on that? Obviously, Cleveland's up 2-0 right now after winning by 14 game 1, winning by 10 game 2. Is it going to get more interesting, or is this going to be a trend and we see a sweep?
So the thing about Orlando is they really just don't have floor spacers. So the only way I see them not getting swept is if they have a game where literally everybody just comes out miraculously and just hits threes. And I'm talking everyone comes out there and hits threes.
Fair.
But so far I do see them just getting swept. I feel like this is a great learning experience, especially for Paolo and Franz. You got 2 centerpieces right there. You can build forward for the future. And, just getting them this experience while they're so young right now is going to do you great, especially in a weak Eastern Conference.
Yeah.
So just kudos to them for even making it this far, regardless of the situation or what conference they play in. So they've been doing good. Cleveland, on the other hand, yeah. Don't be surprised next year around this time Donovan Mitchell's on a different team.
Absolutely.
And the reason why is because Donovan Mitchell he's been great. He's been great all year when he's been able to play, and he's been great in this playoff series. Now the team, him and Darius Garland, that is just like when you take a CJ McCollum and Damian Lillard and put them together. 2 small guards who, again, kind of both need the ball in their hands to be at their best.
Yeah.
Especially Darius Garland is because I think he's a great playmaker. But outside of just his playmaking, and his shooting has been very streaky this year. He hasn't been
for sure.
the shooter that he has been in previous years. And I just don't feel like he's as comfortable playing alongside Donovan Mitchell. And I feel like after this series, whoever they play next, granted, hopefully it's Boston. Hopefully, if they can go ahead and once they match up against them, I really feel like you're going to see one of them get kind of exposed, especially on the defensive end, because you're going to ask them to have to guard one of these bigger players in Derek White, or you're going to have to ask them to guard Drew Holiday, and then of course they're going to attack mismatches and get switched on, and then again their point of attack defender Max Strus. He's a great shooter. Don't get me wrong with that, but he's not guarding Tatum. He's not guarding Jaylen Brown.
It's gonna be a long night.
It's gonna be a long night for him. Evan Mobley, still hasn't came into it offensively. He's a great defensive player, but outside of that, we're still kind of waiting to see what he becomes. And he still hasn't been able to stretch the floor that well this season, and he's still same thing in the playoffs. So honestly, I just kind of want to just see him grow and get better. But as of right now, I do feel like they're going to beat Orlando. They're going to sweep them. But once they get to that next round, I think they're probably going to get swept.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, hey, off season, go ahead, trade Donovan Mitchell. Put that man Evan Mobley in the gym. Say, bro, you can't leave until you make 300 jump shots a night. and then, hey, move on from it. Then, so
I'm not gonna lie. I think the Cavaliers. Granted, if they play the Heat, I think that's a worse matchup for them.
So
Now, granted, with Jimmy Butler.
Okay.
With Jimmy Butler, that's a very bad matchup because their inexperience will be put on full display, and they'll get dismantled piece by piece because of the coaching scheme that they have going on over there. With the Celtics, depending on how they can make the front court situation work, I like that experience. I don't love the matchups for them, right? I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh yeah, Evan Mobley, man, he about to have that man Tatum in prison. I'm not about to sit there and say something crazy like that. Yeah. But it's definitely gonna be a fun, like young versus youngish, back and forth kind of battle. And I think there's a lot of experience to be gained from there, so they would obviously benefit the most. I think they get one game, the gentleman sweep. I'm gonna give them a gentleman sweep. I don't think they win. Maybe they could push it to 6 if all the dice fall like perfectly in line. If all the stars align, they might be able to get 2. But I'm out of there with that one. Now, I think the thing with the Magic is that they just like you said, they're happy to be in the playoffs. They're happy to be getting this experience. And that's important because like Paolo and like you said, Wagner and them, they're all trying to get those opportunities out of the way now because nobody expects them to win now. You could play as booty as you want to right now in the playoffs as the Magic because you're in the playoffs at the end of the day. And nobody expected that to happen. And nobody expects you to make any noise. So if you make some noise, great job. But if you don't, everybody's just going to look at you like, oh, they made the playoffs, successful season. Let's look at these numbers. What can we build from this? What can we learn from this? And that's going to be a big thing for them going forward because they have a lot of opportunities to make things shake, but it's just about where the building blocks come from. And like, obviously, you have Gary Harris. You're going to have him shoot 24 threes a night and pray that they all go in. I mean, he was 4 of 7 tonight, but it was canceled out because Jalen Suggs was 0 of 3. You had Wendell Carter Jr. going 1 of 6. I didn't know he was in his bag from the 3-point range like that.
He get him up. He gets him up.
Jonathan Isaac was too. He was 1 of 7. Unfortunately, they just didn't come down.
Yeah, they just didn't.
Paolo was 1 for 4. Franz, though, he was 2 of 4. A calm 5 of 17 from the field, 29% shooting. Paolo was 9 of 20, 45%. That's respectable. Paolo had a decent night. It wasn't great, but it was a decent night for him. You know what I'm saying? Aside from the 6 turnovers. Now, game 1, he had 9.
Yeah, game 1, he done.
That man. Whoo. Hey. It's the growing pains, though. And it's beautiful because it's not a necessary thing for him right now. Right. Like, if it was like an expectation where they want him to play like young LeBron and like really be to it, this is a little bit under what the expectation would be, but because they are where they're just comfortably not mediocre, they're just comfortably there. They're just vibing. You know what I'm saying? And that's cool.
I mean, that's cool. Let them chuck their shots up. I mean, hey man, 9 turnovers. You're in the second year. Hey man, nobody's over here. Of course, we want you to do better. We want you to be better, but we're not over here trying to kill you, man. Like, for you to lead your team to the playoffs, and it's the second year. And shout out to their coach. Shout out to their coach too, Jamal. He's an excellent coach as well, especially to get a young team to buy in defensively like that.
Yeah, that's a big thing.
That is something that is going to translate later down the line. Hey, next year y'all might be making a run, knock off Milwaukee. I'm just saying.
Hey, anything's possible.
Anything's possible, though.
Now, moving on, we got the Knicks and the Sixers. Obviously, the Knicks won that first game by 7. There was a couple bead scares, that self-lob off the backboard into a dunk just for him to fall on the ground and start gripping his knee. It got worried real quick. They won the most recent matchup, 104-101. What are our thoughts there? Do we think it's going to be a sweep? How many games is it going to go? Which way is it going?
So, let me be honest. Before I even get there, I got to make a confession.
Oh dear. Okay, go ahead.
This is big. I just want to let the world know this, and everybody. Sorry, I'm an Embiid hater. You know,
Oh, that's not crazy. That's not crazy.
It's not crazy.
No, that's not
I'm a
crazy.
hater. I'm not even gonna sit here and act like I'm not a hater. I'm a hater. Full blown hater rate. I'm drinking, I'm sipping, and I'm drunk on it. Cause yeah, the thing about Embiid is just I personally, not even it's really his game that I just don't dislike. It's more so the fact that he lacks accountability for a lot of things, especially with a lot of situations that's gone on. And then also even now, okay, you're down 2-0, and I understand that you're hurt as well. But again, if you're playing, we don't really nobody really cares about any of that. But
Yeah.
it's just a little stuff afterwards. It's like, oh man, we shouldn't be down 2-0. We shouldn't be down it. Hey man, I get it, understand it. A lot of things didn't go your way. But it's honestly, to me, I think you should just move on to it and just be like, bro, we get next game. I feel like the other little things that you say, feel like it just makes you look a little bit worse, especially if you go down 3-0 and then you end up getting swept.
Yeah.
Not saying they are, but
It's not looking great.
it's not looking great.
Yeah.
Now, but on to the game though. Dang, I think we owe somebody. What's it? Becky Hammond? No, it's not Becky. What was her name? Reporter. I can't remember her name exactly right now. She might need an apology because right now, Jalen Brunson has been shooting.
Oh,
He's been getting them up.
yeah.
He's been getting them up. He's been getting them up, and you can tell that he's been doing his best. He's been playing hard, but he has not been efficient.
Yeah.
He has not been hitting the same shots that he's hitting the regular season. He's definitely still winning. He's getting that Tibbs treatment. He's playing a lot of minutes, but his efficiency has been putrid.
Yeah.
And honestly, a lot of it is just he's getting a lot of his shots are heavily contested. Defenses are honing in on him more. He's seeing a lot more double teams, a lot more blitzes. And personally, outside of him, there's really not any other real shot creators on the court. And I guess Julius Randle not being there, yeah, playoff Julius has been a thing. But I do know that the extra pressure that he would have if Julius was healthy would be a lot more beneficial for him. So, yeah, man, I feel like right now it's working out for him, but I also don't feel like he's seeing some of the best perimeter defenders yet that are in the East.
Yeah.
Okay, he's been getting a lot of times he's getting matched up with Kelly Oubre. Sometimes he's seeing a lot of Tobias Harris or, even seeing Tyrese Maxey in some situations. I still don't feel like those are the best defenses he's going to see just yet. So, hey, I feel like he needs to definitely get his efficiency down pat. Josh Hart has been amazing. He's getting ran through the dirt.
Yo, literally played every minute of the game, by the way.
Every minute of the game.
In game 2.
Getting ran through the dirt. OG Anunoby, just going to keep it hot with you, bro. You're Luol Deng. You are Luol Deng. Yeah. Hey, man, it is what it is, though. Big time off the bench for the Knicks. Mitchell Robinson and Deuce McBride. Oh man, they've been playing hard. They've been playing hard. They've been playing great defensively, and Deuce McBride has been really showing out even on the offensive end as well. So I'm very shout out to them because before, honestly, you came in from Virginia. Emmanuel Quickley was on the team. It didn't really look like you were gonna ever get any playing time.
Yeah.
But hey, they traded you out. Tibbs said, hey, I believe in you, and you've been doing your thing. Dante DiVincenzo been doing your thing as well. That game too, though, that blown lead though, man. I thought it was game. I was like, yep, time to wrap it up.
Yeah, that's what they saying.
28 seconds.
Yeah,
that's all it takes. It's 28 seconds, and you just fumble the ball. Hey, you got fouled.
Shoulder shrug.
Hey man, we ain't counting that. Yeah, so it sucks, but it sucks to suck. So
yeah. Man, I'm not gonna lie. When you brought up Jalen Brunson's efficiency, I just looked at these numbers from game 2. That brother was 8 for 29 from the field.
He getting them up though.
1 of 6 from 3. He was 7 of 9 from the free throw line though. Had 8 boards, 6 assists. You know what I'm saying? On some calm stuff. He only had 1 turnover too. But 8 of 29 is
8 to 29 is
sheesh.
it's rough shooting. It's very rough
Yeah.
shooting. And again, it's just being real, being a smaller guard, especially in this playoff situation. They're sending everything at you now. Like you were the guy. There is no, you don't have any other shot creators outside of you. They're gonna send everything at you. They know that you're the engine. They know that if they take you out the game, they have the best chance of winning.
Yeah.
And from the Sixers side, Tyrese Maxey, man, he's a star, man. He is a bona fide star. I just feel like down the line, I just got to be a little bit better with taking care of the ball. And again, he's young, so he's gonna get better with that as well. But hey, honestly, I could see the Sixers coming and taking these next 2 games. I could see them taking it at home.
Yeah. They're very close losses at the end of the day. They're very doable, but they all have to be on the same page.
Yeah.
They all have to be. Josh Hart out here playing 48 minutes, 7 of 16 from the field, 4 of 7 from 3, 3 or 4 from the free throw line. He had 15 rebounds to go along with his 21 points, by the way. He had 2 steals and 2 blocks. I mean,
when you saying that, my knees are getting tired. Like, I'm sitting down and
15
I'm tired.
boards, 48 minutes.
48 minutes?
48 0-0. There was no overtime.
Nah.
He played every lick of the game. He said, "Coach, leave me out there and let me die."
Yeah.
That's what he did.
He's a hooper for real. Doing whatever it takes for the team. So, hey, kudos to him too.
It's working now, so
It's working now.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it until it
when
breaks.
When he get about 44 though, them knees ain't.
Oh yeah, the knees not gonna be kneeing the way they used to knee.
He gonna be asking for that retirement check from the NBA. Like, he gonna be.
I need it.
I need that disability, bro. You done got me messed up out here in these streets.
Man, and then moving on, we have the defending champ, Denver Nuggets versus the Lakers. Now, Broom is crazy because you got in game one, Denver 114-103, right? Carmelo 11 points. This time it took a game winner. Now it really shouldn't even came down that one, right? We had our little conversation. There was a couple people that should not have played in the game. To be honest with you, cough Spencer Dinwiddie. That's my number one. The brother played because he played. Listen. I feel very strongly about this because he played 10 minutes, all of them from the field, right? Carmelo 1 assist, 2 steals. He gave up 3 or 4 buckets, like on his own head, before we just didn't see him the rest of the game. He had the lowest box score plus minus at a -9. For reference, most of the players on the Lakers had a positive box score plus minus. The only people that were also negative was Rui Hachimura, who admittedly had a bad game, 1 of 7 from the field, 0 of 2 from 3, 1 of 2 from the free throw line, 5 boards. Yeah, that's not a good game. That -7, it sucked. You know what I'm saying? Gabe Vincent also should not have played. Not gonna lie, I understand that you have to at some point play somebody. Somebody has to come off the bench, basically, right? You can't run your guys into the ground like Thibodeau does. That's not going to work. Everybody's body's not built for that. It's just not a feasible thing. But for him to play 15 minutes, go 0-2 from the field, both of them being 3-pointers, which they desperately needed on rotations, 1 rebound, 1 assist, 1 steal. He did have 1 turnover, and then you score no points and you have a box score plus minus of a -6. Brother, you're just out there. You're just getting free cardio.
Oh, man. Hey, look, someone got to sweat on the ground, man. You know what I'm saying? And
Jackson Hayes, too.
Jackson Hayes, too, as well. Hey, man, so here's the thing about Spencer Dinwiddie. He was washed in Brooklyn. He wasn't hooping there. So I'm trying to figure out who did he trick to allow him to get playing time in the playoffs on the Lakers.
That they could convince him.
Was it because of his size? Okay, yeah, he's like 6'5". But Spencer Dinwiddie, he's had knee injuries as well. And even after those knee injuries, he was just never, even before those knee injuries, my apologies, he was never really this elite to great defender. So I don't know what made you think he was going to be that now.
Yep.
Heck, I mean, at this production, I would just keep Gabe Vincent in. Yeah, he is a little bit undersized, but he's a better shooter. He's going to try harder on defense. He's going to be a little bit more peskier. And then honestly, I think he's just a better fit alongside like LeBron and AD, just being a floor spacer. Yeah, but you know why I got the broom for these guys? Listen.
Talk to me.
It's the resilience. The Nuggets really got that dog in them too. They go down. They were down in the first game, I believe, going into the fourth quarter as well. They were down 12. End up making a comeback. and ended up winning convincingly. Okay, great. Now you have this game too. You had D'Lo come out here and probably play the best basketball he's ever gonna play against the Denver Nuggets.
Yep.
The best basketball.
7 of 11 from 3.
7 from 11 from 3. I remember he hit his first 3 threes to start the game, and I was like, yeah, Denver looked like they bought. This is the Lakers' game to win.
Mm-hmm.
I remember it was getting down. Okay, Denver's down 20. At this point, you only got Michael Porter Jr. and Jokic are actually only two guys having pretty decent games. They're playing pretty decently.
Mm-hmm.
But again, Denver, they have that championship mentality. They have that mentality of where it's like, okay, we control what we control. So we're going to go out here, we're going to make plays, we're going to go out here and we're going to get this dub. So it ended battle back, and a lot of complaining and crying, especially for the GOAT of this era, LeBron, especially crying over fouls and stuff like that. Yeah, man, and then Jamal Murray just he didn't let the 4 for 16 shooting get to him at the half. He didn't let that.
He did not.
He definitely didn't let that, and he continued to play hard, and he ended up hitting one of the best shots in playoffs. Like, man, and it hurts, and it's because the Lakers played that good to get great production out of D'Lo. Anthony Davis was taking it to Jokic. And LeBron was being LeBron until, I guess you could say he was LeBron because he missed the final shot. So you could say he was being LeBron.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. LeBron really did most of his damage in the second half. Granted, D'Lo was going off in the first half. You had a healthy dose of AD, honestly, across the majority of the game. Played, obviously, a very substantial portion of the game. He played 39 minutes. He's out on some Thibodeau timing almost. Yeah. 14 of 19 from the field. Only attempted 1 3 and missed it. Was 4 of 4 from the free throw line. Had 11 boards, 2 assists, 1 steal, 1 block. He did have 4 turnovers, which tied with D'Angelo Russell for the most on the team, which isn't great. Yeah. But 32 points, which led the team. Can't really beat that. Now, LeBron was a little bit less efficient, but still efficient. A calm little 9 of 19, 47%, 3 of 6 from 3. All those, I believe, came in the second half, his makes at least. I think he missed 1 in the second quarter, and he might have missed 1 in the first quarter. But in the third quarter, he started sparking those things off. The one right before halftime. No, that was game 1. Game 1 was the one where he hit that halftime buzzer beater to send them up 3 going into the break. But 8 rebounds, 12 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks, only 2 turnovers, 26 points, basketball plus minus of a +2. Realistically, there was a very pointed line of guys that got exposed, and all those guys understandably did get exposed because their IQ just isn't there. They're not as disciplined, whether it be on the offensive side of the ball or defensively. You had Rui Hachimura, who shot 107 from the field, basketball plus minus -7. You had Spencer Dinwiddie, who we just talked about. 10 minutes, a waste of 10 minutes. Box score plus minus of a -9. It literally 8 points that got scored on them during the 10 minutes that he was in were on him. Yeah. I watched him in the highlight tape because he was on the other end of the highlight. It was his low light. He's getting fried. Yep. You know what I'm saying? And then you had Gabe Vincent, 15 minutes, 0 of 2 from the field, box score plus minus -6. And then you had Jackson Hayes just being out there, just getting cardio in. 1 offensive rebound, 2 personal fouls in 6.5 minutes, and a box score plus minus of a -1. Yeah. Realistically, it's one of those things where it's like somebody has to play. Somebody has to be on the court at certain periods of time. You can't run your old guys into the ground. And if you don't have quality backups, well, that's what's going to happen. And when you're playing against Jokic, who's going to end up playing 41 minutes, he said, okay, AD's playing 39, bet I'll give you a couple more minutes than that. 41 minutes, 9 of 16 from the field, hit 2 out of his 4 threes, 7 of 7 from the free throw line, 20 rebounds, 10 assists, 2 steals, and only 3 turnovers. Like, he's like that. He's like that. You got Michael Never Swing the Rock Porter Jr.
Knock it down. He was hitting.
6 of 10 from 3.
He was hitting.
Sparking that thing. 9 rebounds, only had 1 assist. Crazy that he even had an assist, but hey, he was going off. Aaron Gordon was doing the things that he does best, attacking the basket at the rim, just being athletic, cleaning up the glass. He had 7 boards, 3 of them being offensive himself. You know what I'm saying? And then you had Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. He had kind of a rough game, 2-7 from the field. But, he's known for defense anyways. Now, Jamal Murray was getting strapped up a bit. That man was 9 of 24, 37% from the field. He was 0 of 5 from 3, which is unheard of. But, every dog has his day. And unfortunately, it just didn't mean anything because they lost anyways. And that's one of those things where, dang, Reggie Jackson was 0 of 5.
Man, he's washed.
Reggie Jackson's just out there collecting the check, low-key.
He washed. He's washed. Denver's bench is honestly, they really have a weak bench.
Yeah.
Now, if Denver's bench comes out hitting shots, I think they're blowing out. They're blowing teams out. They're blowing teams out. But it's just you got Peyton Watson. He's young. I believe this is his third year?
Yeah, second year
in the league. Christian Brown, he's solid, but I feel like he's a good addition to come off the bench, but I don't feel like he's you need someone else to complement him and to really be able to create for him a little bit more. Reggie washed. He just washed. It is what it is, man. He old, and it's okay, man. We not gonna get Detroit Reggie no more.
Yeah,
that's fine.
It's gone. It's behind us.
It is behind us. And back to the Lakers. Shout out to Austin Reeves because he was putting that seatbelt on.
That man was fighting for his life.
He was putting that seatbelt on.
He said, if I'm not he said, either you're not scoring or we not scoring. I'm not about to be the only one in jail.
He was actually playing really good defense on Jamal Murray, especially a lot of times when Jamal Murray would try to post him up. He was playing
gotta stand your ground.
Defense. But the thing is, though, and I'm seeing it, especially from the first 2 games, is I don't believe that Austin Reeves and D'Angelo Russell are both going to have great shooting games.
I agree.
And I feel like one is taking away from the other personally in these situations. Because a lot of times in the first game, there was many possessions and many times where D'Lo was getting shots up, and you could see him just looking his teammates off in the first game. Just looking them off. And trying to find his rhythm, and it just never came. I believe the first game he took more shots than LeBron. He took 20 attempts. LeBron had like 14. LeBron kind of just checked out in the second half of that game. But yeah, so I'm not saying to make a change to the lineup, especially because of how good Austin Reeves has been playing defensively on Jamal Murray for this series. 100%. But I think and Darvin Ham, man, he gonna have his hands in his pocket. And he that's what he's gonna do. I definitely think he did make some better defensive adjustments, especially with starting AD on Jokic for the entire game, and more so just letting him shadow him, and then having AD just continuously attack Jokic on the offensive end, so you can kind of just tire him out. But it's Jokic we're talking about here. I mean, he's honestly gonna go down as one of the, should we say, top 5 centers of all time?
Definitely.
Top five.
You could argue top 3.
You could argue.
Now, he doesn't have great defense, but his defense, he's definitely more playable on that side of the ball.
Yes.
He also gets into his bag very quickly, very easily. Most guys can't give him a run for his money. Yeah. And that's the biggest difference. Hold on. Because I saw this on I saw it on Twitter. Somebody said,
I thought you were about to say TikTok. I was like, it's about to get banned, right?
Nah. Oh yeah, that official.
Yeah.
I'll tell you right now. Somebody sat there and said on Twitter, for the first time in his career, LeBron is matched up with a player who's simply ... better than him. Not only physically, but mentally, which in the past has been his biggest edge. He just can't control the game like he used to when Jokic is pulling the strings against him. And then somebody commented and said, helps that offensively Jokic can get anything that Bron can do anything that Bron can, but Jokic gets his points easier. It starts in the paint rather than driving to the paint, and he's surrounded with competent shooters and nobody to defend Jokic. Makes it easy pickings. Pass out to a double team in an easy bucket. Now, when I read that, I felt the way. I'm not gonna lie, I felt the way.
Okay. Why'd you feel away?
Because LeBron is the most cerebral player in the NBA. It's not a debatable topic to me. Regardless of how old he ends up getting, his brain is the best asset that he has. Whether the personnel around him allow him to maximize what he knows is an entirely different discussion. But that's why I appreciated the follow-up comment that the one person made, because at the end of the day, they both have strong passing senses. They both play a similar game. They're both really good rebounds. They both have the ability to shoot. They both have the ability to attack the basket. but the way they score is two different ways. And Jokic always starts down there.
Yeah.
He's got about 6 feet of space before he's getting the shot up.
Yeah.
It's coming. Whereas LeBron, everything's downhill. You know, and at some point it wears him out. And considering the fact that Jokic is significantly younger than LeBron, right?
Him out. Yeah.
He's got more time. He's got more opportunity.
See, one of the things I was wanting to see LeBron kind of just especially start utilizing more is actually just kind of just coming to getting to more pull-up jump shots off the mid-range. Because again, LeBron is amazing downhill, you know, but I feel like just keeping defenses honest, just with just a little pull-up every now and then, just kind of would just help out just a little bit more, and just get a take away just from the fact of just taking a complete beating every time you go to the rim. Because you're LeBron, man. Guys are gonna jump at you. Guys are gonna try to,
And the refs won't always call it.
and they're not giving you the same calls like they did back in the day. So
Now, I'm not gonna lie. LeBron has across his career, he's had a lot of calls that just haven't been called for him because he has the stigma of being the strongest guy, the guy that that doesn't affect you. Okay, just because it doesn't affect me doesn't mean it's not a foul.
that's right.
And like he's been in that pool for so long, whereas you have Embiid, whose body's made of glass so much, the refs call anticipatory fouls.
Right.
They just like, oh, he's about to smack his wrist. Let me go ahead and blow his whistle. And he's like, oh, I can't take the foul back now.
Yeah.
It looked like he was about to smack his wrist. That's fair. Look at another ref. Your buddy on the other end. Your shoulder stroke together. It is what it is, you know. But it's one of those things where, in order for them to be successful, all of the Lakers, you know, assisting pieces, everybody off the bench, they all have to be on the same page, because if they're not all delivering, then the eats are going to be mid. Yeah. And Jokic gonna handle business.
Yeah, he is definitely gonna handle business. Hey man, this is probably gonna be an MVP again.
Yeah,
he's probably gonna be MVP again. Hey, shout out to Jokic. I mean, he let him know, man. Just because I can't jump on a curve, don't mean I can't put this ball in the net. You know what I'm saying? That's all. Hey, respect to that. Yeah.
But moving on to the Bucks and Pacers, you know, the series is even. First game, the Bucks won by 15, 109 to 94. Second game, the Bucks lost, 125 to 108. So thoughts, comments, concerns?
Ooh, thoughts, comments, concerns. All right, let's start with I want to start with Indiana actually.
Okay.
And there's one thing I just want to say about them is it's Tyrese Halliburton. Because I'm low key, this might sound a little hating too, but Kyrie should have been over him. Team USA, just saying.
Oh, for sure.
Just saying, he should have been over him in Team USA. But the other thing I want to say about Tyrese Halliburton is just ever since Pascal Siakam got onto the team, it seems like he's not 1A anymore. It seems like he's 1B.
Yeah,
and it seems like it's
fair.
more Pascal oriented and it's less Tyrese. And it's also depending because, Tyrese, again, he had a hamstring injury, but his jump shot has been off.
Yeah.
He has not been the same player
He's
that
not
he
that
has
guy.
to start the year.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's if it's a confidence thing or what or it's coaching schemes or what's going on, but I feel like if they are gonna really win this series, Tyrese Halliburton has to be
He has to be that guy.
He has to be that guy. He has to be the guy that started this year off. Pascal Siakam has been amazing.
Yeah.
He has been the best player in this series. He has been the best player. And I know, Dame, amazing first half, but at the same time, Dame, after that, couldn't make a bucket to save his life. But I got the Pacers in 6, especially now that we're hearing reports that Giannis isn't running. He's
bad.
It's bad. So it's a calf injury. So I don't know if a Dame led team right now can beat the Pacers team because again, I'm not 100% sure that Dame is the best player in this series. Chris Middleton, he's not the same Chris Middleton of old. Brook Lopez has been solid. Man, my man Bobby Portis, game 2 wasn't his best game. So I'm a little worried, but it just kind of all just depends on Tyrese. Is Tyrese Halliburton going to be Tyrese Halliburton, or is he gonna He's just gonna wither away
Yeah.
and just
Fade into the background.
Fade into the background. There's times in the game where he's just a ghost. Like,
Yeah, he's just there.
I'm watching him play, and it's just sometimes I'm like, I want him to be more aggressive, take shots. Honestly, when I watched him in the first game, I believe he went, I think it was like 3 for 7. And I'm like, dang, bro, like shoot the ball more, take more, be more aggressive. And if it is the hamstring injury, I hate for it to be that. But again, when you're on that court, nobody cares if you're hurt or not. You're on the court, you're playing. So I just want him to be more aggressive. I want him to take more shots. I want him to be what he was at the beginning of the year, and just continue to just know that he is the 1A. I believe he's the 1A. I believe they brought Pascal to him so he can be better and he can have less stress. But again, he just needs to step it up a little bit more, be more aggressive, continue to find your teammates the way you've always been doing, but just find ways to just put more pressure on the rim and just continue to take shots. I think it's gonna fall, and just be confident in yourself. So, yeah, I got Pacers in 6 though. Pacers in 6.
Yep. If Giannis doesn't come back, I'm inclined to believe you. I'm inclined to be right down to the same boat because it's gonna get ugly. It's gonna get ugly, and the way Pascal's playing, if you don't have Giannis, yes, Brook Lopez can still score. Yes, he can. That 3-point shot, he got that ratchet on him. You know what I'm saying? Bobby Portis is gonna do a couple Bobby Portis things. Chris Middleton's gonna pop up one game, then disappear the next game. Pat Bev is gonna be a lockdown on defense. Dame seems to be getting his buckets on offense again finally.
Yep.
But it's just not enough individually. And as a culmination of players, they just don't have the firepower to go back and forth.
Right.
And Tyrese, even though he needs to step up his aggressiveness, the playmaking sense has still been there. He's been on top of things. He had 12 assists to 2 turnovers the most recent game. So he's there. He's more so facilitating the offense. So I'm wondering if he is still hampered by that hamstring. And if it's a thing of they don't want to put him on a minutes restriction, but they're like, hey, when you go out here, we can't be doing all the acrobatics. We can't be playing it all over the top. We got to go according to the book, run the play, get the ball out of your hands, make it simple, make the easy read, and we'll live and we'll die with it as it goes. And I can respect that. It's not the sexiest thing to watch on a basketball court, but sometimes if they do manage to pull off this upset, which it looks like they're going to because it doesn't look like Giannis is coming back, then they're going to have the ability to make it happen.
And then Doc Rivers. Oh, man. The flukiest coach of all time.
Firing your coach that had you at 30-13 just to end up finishing the season with 19-19? I think they went 19-19.
I didn't think it was 50%. I thought he did worse.
It might have been one game. It might have been one game under 500 because for a minute it was. I want to say there was 3 games left, and I saw that.
Yeah, man. I don't know what Doc Rivers must got some nudes on somebody in the NBA because he stay getting a job. I mean, he blew. Yeah, man, I've blown that many 3-1 leads. Shoot, man, I don't think high school would hire me.
Serious.
But hey, look, kudos for him to get in his bag. And Milwaukee, your front office, you guys are gonna have to take a look in the mirror, especially even if you guys lose this series. Do you run it back with Doc Rivers as your head coach? That's gonna be your biggest question.
Yeah.
And then your next question is, what do we do about Chris Middleton? Because I feel like personally he's not the same, and I think you guys should kind of try to look and see if any way of possibly upgrading.
Yeah.
Because your window just keeps getting smaller and smaller. Dame is getting older. So you got to figure that out.
Exactly. Only but so much opportunity and time left to go. And it's getting ugly. It's definitely getting ugly.
It's definitely getting ugly.
But we're almost there. We got 2 more. We're gonna start with Clippers and Mavericks. Obviously, that series got split down the middle. Surprisingly enough, Clippers game 1, no Kawhi. They handled business, won by 12, 109-97. Game 2, Kawhi back in the lineup, but they were a little bit more shaky. Dallas was hitting more on their cylinders. We got some more help from PJ Washington. We saw a lot of guys be more locked in on defense, took things a little bit more personally. They were blowing up a lot more axes, making the Clippers think a little bit more. They ended up winning 96-93. Thoughts?
Sidebar.
Yeah.
Top 5 point guards of all time.
Who?
Steph.
All right.
Magic.
All right.
Dang. See, look at that. I'm on the spot now and I forgot. My bad. Steph, Magic. I got to go with that man, Oscar Robertson.
Okay.
I got to go Oscar.
Okay.
Now, these next two, very, very controversial.
Okay.
Kyrie Irving.
I'm not about to argue with you. I'm not about to argue with that.
Kyrie Irving.
I love Kyrie. Kyrie's the most skilled player in the NBA.
Kyrie. And then I'm going to have to go with my man.
You better go Chris Paul or John Stockton.
Oh, I'm going to have to go. I'm going to go Chris Paul.
I respect it. I might lean a little bit to Stockton, but I could definitely respect. I would definitely respect the Chris Paul pick.
Yeah, no.
He had one of the most unfortunate careers. I'm not gonna lie.
And people be like, "Where's Westbrook?" And I just have to say it like this, right? Okay, Westbrook does have MVP, and he does have the triple doubles. That's great. That's awesome. But Kyrie Irving he not only does he have an NBA championship, multiple All-Star appearances, just like Westbrook does. He doesn't have the MVP, but I feel like the ring and the shot that it took him to get that is one of the biggest shots in NBA history, period. And also, to benefit that, Kyrie Irving is, in my opinion, the most skilled NBA player to ever touch the court.
I think it's a fact because a lot of people will sit there and say, oh, I dislike the people that say it's Kevin Durant because to me, if you say this person, whoever it may be, is the most skilled player, that tells me if I put them in the body of somebody that's 6'10", if I put them in the body of somebody that's 6'6", if I put them in the body of somebody that's 6'2", he gets buckets regardless. If you take Kevin Durant's bag and you put it in somebody that's 6'6", 6'5", not even 6'2", we don't even have to go that.
It's a little different.
It's not going.
It's different.
Because he doesn't have the greatest separation package of all time. But his release point is so high. Only Rudy Gobert, Zubac, very few guys. It's a very short list of probably 10 guys out of the 400 in the NBA that can get a strong contest, that have the ability to block that shot, to put him in conflict when he wants to get a shot off. Most people can't do that. But you shorten him down, that's getting beat through the glass. Now Kyrie. He got English, Spanish, Italian, whatever you want on that ball. It's going to hit the backboard crazy.
You want jelly, jam? What you want? How you want it?
You want marmalade?
Marmalade. Hey, the greatest handles of all time.
Undoubtedly.
And I mean, just one of the best finishers of a guy that's under 6'3".
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of, he can shoot the ball.
Exactly.
He can shoot from anywhere. He can post you up. He has moves for days. I mean,
his counters have counters on top of the counters of counters when he sees you trying to counter.
Exactly. And then of course your really biggest knock on him is defense, but we've seen him step up and play defense, especially in the biggest moments. Exactly. So it's not like that he can't play it. It's just I believe his offensive brilliance is just way too great. Like you said, you put him in the body of KD or you made him 6'6". Oh my gosh.
It's getting real wicked. It's getting dangerous. Don't come outside.
Don't come outside at all. Because imagine him at 6'6". Yeah, no, it'd be bad for. But back to the main point. Sidebar over. Just want to say that. Shout out to Kyrie Irving, man. You're one of my goats.
Fair play.
Don't kill me. Don't kill me. But so thing with the Clippers, man. The Clippers first game they came out on the mission. They came out ready to play. And Dallas wasn't ready to play. Dallas was a little lackadaisical. They were slow defensively, and I feel like they weren't ready. And I feel like Luka was seeing a lot of Terrence Mann, but he was seeing a lot of double teams in a lot of different areas. And another good thing that the Clippers did that they struggle with other times is a lot of times with switches with Zubac. They weren't giving up that many switches with him. So they were playing excellent defense. I feel like Luka was settling a little bit, especially with his step back three. It wasn't falling, especially first half. And second half, he finally got it going. Same with Kyrie. But I feel like their effort defensively just wasn't there. And the Clippers took advantage of it. Russell Westbrook, his energy, everything he brings to this team, to the Clippers team is sensational. Outside of his jump shooting, of course. Paul George, first game wasn't the best efficiently, but hey, he played good. He did his thing. played solid enough for him to get the dub. James Harden, he was in his bag. He was cooking. He had a great game. And then Dallas's, they just weren't hitting shots. Other guys weren't hitting shots. They're gonna get shots created for them. It's all about them just putting it in the net because they're gonna get wide open looks. Like Kyrie and Luka draw just so much attention that you just got to be prepared and be ready to be locked in to hit shots. Second game though, Dallas, their leaders. I feel like their leaders set the tone. Kyrie and Luka really set the tone defensively. To me, especially well, both of them. I can't even say just one or the other. There was many plays where Luka usually gets blown by, especially by guys like Kawhi and Paul George. But he wasn't. It wasn't as easy. It definitely wasn't as easy. He was playing great defense. I seen him have like 2 help side blocks that were really good as well. And Kyrie, just the effort he was putting in, especially guarding Harden. And when there was dead balls, he was all in Harden's space. You had Harden pushing off on him several times, trying to get physical, trying to get Kyrie off of him. Kyrie was doing his thing defensively, and I feel like that set the tone for the rest of the team. Again, efficiency is the key to everything. I feel like they can both still be more efficient. But again, hey, they're going to see a lot of different looks. Tyronn Lue is a master coach. So this series is an up in air one. Dallas is my dark horse to win it all. But I'm not. I wouldn't be surprised if the Clippers pull it off in 7 either. It's such a toss in the air. It's really just who's the ball gonna go in for. Is really it, man. So I'm very excited for the next game.
Yeah,
very very excited.
I think a very big difference that we saw going from game 1 to game 2 was where the screens for Luka were going. Now, Lively is not known to be a shooter for obvious reasons. So Lively setting screens outside of the 3-point line and then not immediately vacating the area put Luka into a very precarious situation in game 1 at least, because then you had Zubac sliding down because he doesn't have to come all the way up because they're fighting through the screen. And if Man's fighting through the screen and right there on Luka's hip, all he has to do is funnel Luka towards Zubac, and now you have a situation where Lively's behind him and he's completely ineffective to the play. And that happened too many times. Now, they did clean that up this game. Things looked a lot better. And as you said, defensively, they just looked more in tune. They looked more fluid. They looked like they were there to get a job done. They had a purpose. And obviously you had a rusty Kawhi, but at the end of the day, Kawhi's not always going to be rusty. And the better he plays himself into shape and gets the wind back under him, the more interesting it's going to get.
Hell, definitely, for sure. Man, Kawhi Leonard is just, man, he's a robot. He's literally he's that robot that you got to change his battery every day. It's like, damn, that man, he get
did you put it on a charger?
Yeah, man, you gotta put some maintenance into him. But when he's there and he's playing, I mean, Kawhi is top 5 in the league.
Yeah,
you could argue a top 3 player in the league, especially in the playoffs. Really, it's Paul George though. I really feel like the X factor for them is what's Paul George really gonna do? Efficiency. I want to see Paul George have a really big game where he's hitting his shots. He always looks comfortable. Paul George is a smooth player, but it's just something about when he gets in these playoffs, it's just not the same as it usually is.
Yeah.
And I want to see more of him because they're gonna need him to be his best if they're gonna win this series. And me personally, whoever wins this series is to me is going to the conference finals. They're going to the conference finals. Dallas, I got them to the finals. Dark horse finals team. Let me be more specific. Dark horse finals team. But if they can continue, if the Clippers can continue to just not allow Zubac to get put on an island and continue to just blitz Luka and force him into these just step back jumpers for majority, I think they'll live with that. But once Luka starts getting in that bag and he starts to get downhill a little bit more and starts dissecting the defense, especially with his passing ability, then you got to worry about other guys hitting shots. And then you're going to have to live and die by that. So, yeah, man. I think this is the best series right now. Honestly, by far the best series. And it's going to be very exciting.
And then we got last but not least, the one and only Timberwolves and Suns. The Minnesota's up 2-0 very convincingly, you know. You had one game up. They won by 25, 120-95. Second game they came back and won 105-93. What are our thoughts?
Bradley Beal, washed. D Book, cheeks. KD, old. Royce O'Neal, old. Hey, all right, let me stop messing with him. But the thing is with the Suns, man, this series, I personally, going into it, I had in my head, I was like, I think the experience and just the overall the playoff success that D Book and KD have had, I thought that was going to kind of carry over a little bit better. And I had the Suns in 7. I feel like I thought they were really going to actually come out here and really give them a nice little beating. But watching these first 2 games,
It's rough.
it's been rough. It has been very rough, especially defensively for the Suns. Because now you're leaving, if you're asking KD to, because arguably in that starting lineup of when it was Grayson Allen, Bradley Beal, D Book, KD and Nurkic, your best defender on perimeter is arguably KD. And so if you're asking him to guard Anthony Edwards, who's going to guard everyone else? Who's going to guard Karl Anthony Towns? Who's going to guard Mike Conley in pick and roll situations?
Yep.
Because they don't have a point of attack defender. They don't. So the lack of that, and plus the lack of size that they have, it's kind of being shown now. And Minnesota, hey, Rudy Gobert is proving the naysayers wrong about him being played off the floor. He's been actually playing really good. Not even good. He's been playing great. He's been probably having one of the, if not one of not the biggest impact in this entire series. Just being a deterrent, being able to actually go out and switch on the perimeter, and just being a threat down low as well. Hey, I see him made a post fade.
Yeah,
I see now.
That was the one. Yeah, and it was an and one.
I thought Jesus was coming down, man. Shoot, I looked over. I said, Jesus, it's raining outside. I said, nah, ain't no way. Not Rudy, but he's been excellent. Jaden McDaniels has been stepping up, especially in game 2.
Phenomenal. The defense was crazy game 1, game 2, 10 of 17 from the field in 41.5 minutes, 2 of 4 from 3, 3 of 4 from the free throw line, 8 boards, 3 assists, 1 steal, only 1 turnover, 25 points. He had the highest box score plus minus at a plus 24.
Yes.
You can't ask for anything more from the guy.
No. And then again, you're asking him to go out here, hey, go guard KD. Or in other possessions, we're switching off, go guard Bradley Beal. Hey, go guard D Book. And he's just been everywhere. He's been everywhere, and it's honestly helping Rudy Gobert out as well. Just having another wing defender who can actually stay in front of his man instead of it always just being a funnel. And even if it is a funnel, you have 2 guys that have like, one has a 7'2" wingspan, the other has like a 7'4" wingspan at the rim, and now you're meeting these guys. So that's been good. Anthony Edwards, I want to say he's been good. I'm not going to say great because he did have a great first game. He started off a little rocky. Turnovers were a big issue. And again, he was just a little bit of foul trouble. But, I mean, he had an amazing third quarter that really helped seal that game for them. But outside of that, second game, he wasn't so good. But Mike Conley, he's also been just pretty good, solid point guard. Hey, can't ask nothing more from him. Naz Reid, 6th man of the year. He's been great as well, just coming off the bench, being another stretch big out there as well.
Yep.
And then, Phoenix though, just
laying eggs.
Yeah, they're laying eggs. I mean, like, you guys get swept. Even if you guys don't get swept, you guys losing in the first round period, it's going to be a lot of questions, especially about D Book and Kevin Durant. D Book just because. First game, I believe, 5 for 17 shooting, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
He didn't shoot really good at all. And out there, he was getting cooked. He was respectfully getting out there and getting cooked. He did have some good possessions to start the game, especially in the first half. Defensively, he was doing all right. But then eventually, he was starting to get exposed a little bit out there. Bradley Beal, it's like you're taking a square and trying to make them a circle. Bradley Beal is not a playmaker. He can make plays for others, but that's just not who he is.
Yeah.
He's a bucket getter. He's a go getter. He's trying to go get a bucket, and I feel like having no point guard has really been an ultimate downfall as well for this team, because in these times where it's just like all right, it's your turn. Okay, it's your turn. All right, then it's my turn. And instead of just the offense just coming naturally and flowing greatly, because there's no way you're scoring under 90 points with 3 guys who can average 30.
Facts.
Realistically, like, come on now. Unless they get 30, 30, 30, which is not even the case, because you got D Book fouling out. And I think last game when Bradley Beal had 20 points, baby.
20? Yep. Well, he had 14 actually.
14. Oh man,
6 for 17.
6 for 7. God, Bradley washed. I'm over here giving you credit for something you're washed. But yeah, no, just the real question for them is, how are they going to be able to defend? Is really going to be the question. How are they going to be able to defend, and how are they going to be able to not only defend but just keep Minnesota off the glass as well?
Yeah.
Okay, Rudy Gobert, he's going to get down there. Towns, I mean, he's mostly going to be on the perimeter, but still a bigger body. And I mean, if you're asking KD to guard him, you're going to still have to ask the question, who's guarding Ant? So we're going to see what happens next game. They're going to be in Phoenix, and hopefully they can figure some out. Hopefully Frank Vogel isn't a bad head coach.
He's not. Definitely not.
He's not. I just think he just doesn't have the right pieces.
Yeah.
Personally.
Yeah.
So hopefully they can figure something out, try some different schemes, and see what happens. Yes, sir.
Sounds good to me. Yeah. But, now that we've covered all our bases, we'll touch back after everybody goes and plays their game 3s and give a nice, concise, thorough, just a hot, not even hot takes, just strong, well-founded, well-understood, easily explained takes with metrics to back them up and all that sort of stuff. Right. Obviously it'll be a shorter episode. It'll be in and out. Probably like how I expect the Suns to continue to be. In and out. At the crib, and Turks and Caicos by the end of the week.
It's all good,
Express
man.
delivery.
At least, look, they lose, they going to Cancun.
Oh yeah,
man. I lose, I'm going back to the crib. And man,
yep,
on the couch, just sitting there going, dang, I wish I was in Cancun right now.
Real.
Right?
But yeah, any final thoughts?
Oh man, any final thoughts, man? Now, I'm just excited. I'm just excited for some more playoff games.
Fair enough.
I'm excited, man. This is a really good playoff, and I'm especially in the Western Conference. I'm excited. I feel like whoever comes out the West is probably gonna win the whole thing.
Yep. Yeah.
Whoever comes out, because the East is just looking
Yeah.
a little right now.
There's a couple good matchups, but overall, gotta go West. I'm a belief in the repeaters. If the Lakers don't end up beating the Nuggets, I think the Nuggets go all the way. My dark horse is going to be the Timberwolves. I like the way they look. I like the way they play. I love a great defensive team. I love the cohesiveness of their offensive units. It wouldn't surprise me at all. And considering Ant being the driving force behind it, even when he has a bad game, his energy and the way he carries and conducts himself is what carries them over the edge in my eyes. So it wouldn't surprise me if they really pushed the envelope come into the playoffs.
Hey man, same here. I got reigning champs. I feel like they're title favorites again. Dark horse, I gotta go Mavericks, man. Mavericks is just simply because I feel like whoever can get through this 4 and 5, I feel like they have the hardest path in my opinion. And if they can, if the Mavs, if Luka can get over the hump of Kawhi, I feel like he can get over the hump of anything else. And we've seen it before. He's already been to a conference finals, and he's lost to the champions once with the Golden State Warriors. I feel like now, with a little bit more offensive creativity with Kyrie and a better supporting cast defensively with PJ and Daniel Gafford, I feel like anything's possible. Because Luka, when he's on it, you can't say he's no less than a top 3 player in this league. So, yeah, that's all I got to really say about that.
Well, Yep. There's more NBA basketball to be played. As the season continues to wind down, the games get more and more interesting. Hopefully we get to see, as few more injuries as possible, and some of our injured stars do end up coming back, so we can get some more enjoyable basketball coming up on us. But with that being said, this was the first episode of The Playoff Picture. Thanks for tuning in. As always, it's your host, Wraith. Behind me, I got my boy. It's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure.
It's been awesome.
We'll do this again in a couple days. And with that being said, go ahead and smash that like button, hit subscribe to the channel, become a member to help support the content. We'll get you guys around. Let us know you guys' thoughts and takes and who you guys think is going to be your favorite for the finals from a matchup standpoint, first of all, and then who your dark horse could be potentially to win it all. That being said, thanks for tuning in to this one, guys. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.